Okay, this is a chart review for February 3rd. I'm trading NQ on a 1K tick chart. I need to rename this one. This is a 10K tick chart here that we're looking at just to see if we were looking at it this morning, how things would have looked. So if I zoom in here, this is pretty close to the open. You can see we've been kind of getting smoked. So we've got a little bit of a range day here in the 28th. Then we come up, get close to the relative high, and then we try to get through that high again, and we just dump. And then we kind of take another leg down about the similar length to this one. And then now we're coming up, and it's February 3rd. We trended back up a little bit here, but then are struggling up here. So I am trading a strategy which I'm still refining. So the good thing is that you guys will kind of learn with me as we go. So I'm gonna just review my chart for the day, tell you how I trade, and hopefully this will be helpful for somebody. And it will also help to keep me accountable because I'm gonna be posting this, and if it's not a good trade, then I shouldn't be taking it, and anyone in the comments can keep me accountable. So I'll try to show you the kind of setups that I take. So I've got a few things here. So I've got these lines, which this black line that goes across is the open for the given day. And then the rest of these lines are standard deviation lines. So if I zoom out a little bit, you can see this is half a standard deviation up. This is one full standard deviation up. And I have those plotted both up and down every half standard deviation. If you know how a normal distribution works, the probabilities of being inside or outside of those can sometimes be useful in trading. Um, then this red dash line is the 200 EMA. I just use that for my bias, really. I try to filter trades by not going long under it and not going short above it. Sometimes, if the setup is decent, I'll break that rule. But for the most part, I try to stick to it. So and then finally, I have the 21 EMA here, which I don't use for trading really. I just kind of use it as a guide, and yeah, so not much going on here. We've kind of made a head and shoulders, and so it's possible that the market will turn here. This is an interesting little pivot here because it's right above the 200 EMA, and we're kind of retesting this low that we had broken through and had struggled to go through a little bit. Not the best signal bar, but if this had been a bit better of a signal bar, I maybe would have contemplated taking that. So if I just start scrolling, I'm looking for essentially this setup actually. So I can see that we're in a downtrend. We just broke into a new area, and you've got this little pivot here, and then we come back and basically get back to the pivot. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for areas where I'm going with the trend. I've got two legs back to a similar area, and then I'm looking for an engulfing bar or a really good signal bar. So that can be a shooting star where you've got a huge wick and we close red, or it can be an engulfing bar like this one. And I generally take these for about 15 points. If things set up really, really well, I will maybe extend that. But today wasn't the best trading day for me. I was unfortunately away from the computer for part of it, so it didn't end up taking some of the setups that I would have. So, but like I mentioned, this is a 1K tick chart, by the way. So we're watching this and just looking for the opportunity to go short. Essentially, we're just in a downtrend. You can see we're just kind of going sideways here. I would not take this short because we just don't make it high enough here. And in my experience, if you're taking a short too close to the lows, you're not really giving yourself room for it to play out. Today is clearly a day where the trend is very strong, so you want to look for trend continuation and not reversal, and that's exactly what I did here. So I I will typically wait for the engulfing bar to close, but you can see we've got this small little pullback after such a big down move, and that's all we can do off of these lows. I mean, we're down a bunch of points in a straight line basically, and all we can do here is bounce. How much is this? 70 points, which on a day like today is not very much given that the ATR is 20 plus. So we make a little move down here and then we try to break back through this level and immediately get rejected. Heavy rejection. So I took this short. I mark it with the risk to reward just to remember where I took a trade, but you can see I just took it for 15 points here. And then we retrace back a little bit. I don't like any shorts here. So let me just zoom out a bit. I don't like any shorts here. Now we're kind of going sideways. So not not as intrigued by shorts here. And I've also got this measured move, so I can see we're about to reach it. So I'm at this point, I'm just seeing whether the market's going to keep going or if it's going to play in a reversal. Now you'll see this big blue box that I have, and it's a cool statistic that I like to use just to tell me where the market might go. And I forget the exact stat. I think it's 75% of the time if the market closes or if the range from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. if we close in the bottom half of that range, we will have a 75% chance or something like that of breaking the low of the range, and same thing for the upper half of the range. So I built an indicator here that just draws the box, the range, and then tells you which direction we're expected to go in. So you can see so the only reason I don't love this short here, even though either one of these might work out, I just don't love that we went so many bars sideways here. I typically like to see a pretty steep pullback and then an immediate attempt again. I don't like seeing, chop, 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 and then coming down. Even though it does work for the 15 points, I just don't love it. Now, here's another trade that I look for. You can see this is kind of a consolidation, and I was actually away from my computer for this one, or I might have taken it. You can see we're kind of consolidating here. So I'm watching this consolidation to see if we break above it or below it for a potential trade. So we've kind of broken above it here, and this is not a perfect retest of the high, but we are kind of retesting this level. So I think even though we're under the 200 EMA, given that we're up or given that we're down so much and there tends to be mean reversion, I would probably take this for 15 points. You're risking 25, so but yeah, it does end up working out. And then that's the only trade I would take. I don't like this short here. At this point, I don't know if the market's going to continue up or down, so I don't love anything here. And here I would have loved to see. So we tried to reverse here. This is what I'm looking at. We try to reverse here. We come back down. We break back below this pivot, and we try to go higher here. If we had gotten another similar leg with a pretty heavy rejection, I probably would have taken a short there. I just would have liked to see one more bar here. And yeah, even without that extra bar, you can see we're retesting the low. So didn't end up taking anything there. This one again, I don't love that we're in this consolidation. I would need to see the market move into a new area before I'm taking a short this low, but it probably, yeah, the market's just so bearish today that it ends up working out. And given that we can't really bounce, I did end up taking a short here. Looking back at it, I don't love it that much, but today ended up just being a day that the market was so bearish that you can just short basically anywhere and make money. So it's a pretty rare day, but I guess we were retesting this level so many times. This short actually looks a little bit better, but I don't think I should have taken that one. Now we're moving into a new level and into a new area. So we broke the low here. So at this point, I might be interested in shorts. Yeah, this one isn't. I would say I wouldn't blame you for taking something like this. I would have loved to see this just as an engulfing bar instead of the bar that it was. If this had been an engulfing bar, I probably would have taken that because again, we're making this huge move down. We can barely bounce. and then we have a huge bearish bar attempting to go lower, and it's not like it's a crazy reaction off of that where we just bounce. It's a little dink of a reaction, and then we're just right back down. So and then typically I broke my rules today. I'm supposed to stop trading at 1 o'clock, but I'll just show you guys for accountability. um I just thought, man, the market is down so much, and we're reaching a lot of these support levels. I think there could be a bounce, and I ended up averaging into a position which ended up reversing. But this is just not a strategy that you want to be in. I mean, in the event that the market just does keep going, you're going to get absolutely destroyed and lose your account. So um, I just I shouldn't be trading like that, and to keep myself accountable, I'm just going to state that that was a stupid trade and I shouldn't have done it. But yeah, throughout the rest of the day, like I said, I like to stop trading at 1 o'clock because I've just found from my back testing that it doesn't work that well after 1 o'clock. But yeah, that was and actually now looking at this short, I mean it's hindsight, but it doesn't look too bad. We moved into a new area, we struggled here, and then I guess I would have liked a little bit less time between these two legs, which is probably why I didn't take it. But that one's not bad. So yeah, overall the market did end up bouncing a little bit, but I can't really tell where we're gonna go tomorrow. I could see us definitely just dumping it in tomorrow. I don't know if there are any big tech earnings today or anything, but yeah, that was my chart review. This is a brand new account. I've been trading for about 2 years now, and I'm starting to see a little bit of consistency with the strategy that I've come up with, but definitely not profitable yet. And so this is just documenting my journey on my way to hopefully becoming a full-time trader and profitable. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good one.